Here is a question I received yesterday after posting the video on the concept of sin. One of my followers asked, is fornication morally wrong if the two individuals consent to it? If you followed that video carefully, my point in that video is that nothing is really wrong or nothing is really right. It just depends on the situation in which you find yourself. And I encourage people to live their lives sensibly, to always circumspect the consequences of their actions. Before you take any action, make sure you ask yourself, am I ready for the consequences of this action I want to take? Because every action has a consequence. Whether you like it or not, that is the way things work. It might be good, it might be bad. So as an individual, you want to live your life in a very sensible way, so much so that you don't bring suffering to yourself. Always consider, if this thing I'm going to do is going to bring suffering to myself, you must avoid doing that thing. But if this thing I'm going to do, I am sure that when the consequences come back to me, I'm not going to suffer. And it makes sense to you in the situation in which you find yourself. You go ahead and do it. Nothing is really wrong and nothing is really right. There are situations in life where what is considered socially wrong is the only solution. And you have to do that thing in order to solve the problem in which you find yourself. Now, let's talk about fornication on its own. Fornication is a concept that was brought about by religion. Because at the base of it, sex is sex. Religion now came and classified sex based on the relationship of the individuals involved in the sex. If they are married people, it is called sex. If one party is married and is having sex out of the marital covenant, it is called adultery. If the two individuals are not yet married, it is called fornication. These are all words that were crafted by religion in order to make people live in fear and guilt. At the bottom line, sex is sex. That is why it does not matter if you have sex in marriage or out of marriage or in adultery or in fornication. The result is always the same. You can have a child out of it. Because at the bottom line, it is the same action. I define sin as anything which is morally evil, that brings suffering to yourself, to a fellow human being, or to the process of life. There are situations where sex can be a very good way for you to relieve pressure and tension in your body. And if you think that is what you need at that time, and you are in that situation, and you want to use that sex for that good, then that sex becomes a good thing because you are intentional. You know what you want out of the sex and you know what you are trying to achieve. There are also situations whereby that sex, you really don't need it. You are only following your compulsion as a human being and you are not acting thoughtfully. You just want to dive into sex because it is available. In that case, that sex becomes